In this video, traders, or multi-part video series, we're going to look at trading with more discipline and better emotional control. Stay tuned. Hey guys, a warm welcome to you. Okay, so multi-part video series here for you where we're talking about trading with more discipline and better emotional control. If you are a subscriber to the channel, you will know we go into a lot of depth about this. I've done a lot of videos where we've kind of talked about this, but in this kind of video series, I want to kind of dig down, cover some of the topics again, some of them in a little bit more depth, but still keep it short, concise, each video around the 5-minute mark, so you can kind of take what you want out of it, progress through, watch it all and binge watch it, or just kind of dip in and out as you see fit. If you like this kind of stuff, thumbs up is appreciated. As always, appreciate your subscription, comments, all that kind of good stuff. All right, guys, so let's get going. Trading with more discipline and better emotional control. So if we look at discipline and emotions, emotions are generally the cause of discipline loss, right? Because if we are thinking clearly, would we break the rules? Probably not. If we think about the times where you've broken the rules as a trader, you think about the times where you've done stuff that you shouldn't have done, then isn't that because you felt a certain way? Isn't it because you felt frustrated you've missed a few trades and so you're going a little bit early? Is it because you felt sad that you're down and you want to get it back? Do you feel you're angry at the market so you want to get it back? Do you feel you're angry with yourself because you've broken rules so you break more rules? All it comes down to is stemming from emotions, guys. They're the cause of discipline loss. So the obvious answer will be, well, just trade without emotion. Well, unfortunately, we can't. We're humans, and actually we can harness the power of our emotions. We don't have to be trying to stifle them all the time as traders. We can recognize they're there, and we can put in things in place that says we don't have to change who we are. All we've got to do is be aware of how we're reacting, be aware that that makes us angry, be aware that that makes us frustrated, be aware that that makes us sad, and then take some sort of steps after that. But we'll get into that in a moment. So what can we do to reduce emotional impact on our trading? How do we learn to recognize when emotions are creeping in? This is a big one, because if we can stop it and see the emotions coming in, then they have less impact on our actual trading, right? And then less impact on our discipline, and everything works out a lot better. We look at methods for not allowing the emotions to influence our trading decisions when we don't want them to. And then as a result, we want to trade with more discipline and focus. So a quote that I've kind of taken, I'm not even sure who said this, but you know, a lot of kind of people do say this and it makes perfect sense, is, you know, endure the short-term pain of discipline or suffer the long-term pain of regret. So you could have that with any analogy. Trading's the perfect analogy because that's what we're here talking about today. We could talk about it with health and fitness, you know, the short-term pain of discipline of not eating the foods that you like but potentially aren't very good for you, like your burgers and your kind of sweets and cakes and all that kind of stuff that you know that if you had a ton of those, you would be weighing an awful lot more than you were now. And having the discipline to not do that gives you long-term success, long-term kind of satisfaction, as opposed to not doing the discipline, having no discipline, eating it and enjoying it, but then having the long-term regret of being overweight or being unhealthy. So you could use multiple analogies, but trading is kind of the one we're talking about today specifically. Understanding that if we can exercise the discipline in the short term, then it does mean that over the long term we will have a much better result. We won't have the regret, because unfortunately if we don't exercise short-term discipline in trading, you know what happens, guys? We look back on it and go, if I'd have only been a bit more disciplined, if I'd have only got a bit of a handle on what I was doing there, I would have come out way better than I did. I would have had a better performance, I'd be further down the line, I wouldn't be thinking about quitting, everything would be good. So it's the core of a lot of things in trading. It's the core thing to look at as a trader, to kind of see, hey, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? And I need to get a handle on it. Because even if you are the best trader in the world, you're still at some point in time going to be challenged by your emotions. The market will challenge your emotions. It is, because it's involved with money, it's involved with being right, it's being wrong, it's pushing all the buttons as a human that makes us emotional. But that doesn't matter as long as we can control it and understand its influence on it. So we're going to move on now, guys. We're going to push on and we're going to see how we can do this, what sort of steps, actions, tips we can put in place to make sure that our emotions aren't dictating our trading. See you in part 2.